It's another episode of Stephen Follows Instructions. How's that for energetic? I'm learning from Jon Stewart. I love the way he just blasts his way into a new episode of The Daily Show. And, well, I'm no Jon Stewart, obviously, but still. Today we're looking at MCP servers, Model Context Protocol Server. So I looked at a few guides to installing. I settled on this one. We might have to change. Who knows? This is by a service called Composio. I know nothing about them. But it looks like they're not hawking some specific product via the article. And that's kind of what I'm after. Composio MCP. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Anyhow, this is, according to the article, a step-by-step guide to building it from scratch. So, that's what we're going to try to do. So, what is MCP? Think of MCP as a USB-C port on a laptop. Model Context Protocol provides a standard, secure, real-time, two-way communication interface for AI systems to connect with external tools, API services, and data sources. Exactly. Unlike traditional API integration, which requires separate code, documentation, authentication methods, and maintenance, all true, MCP can provide a single standardized way for AI models to interact with external systems. You write code once and all AI systems can use it. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I could use it too. Maybe it doesn't have to be an API, an AI. Maybe other software can use it too. I don't know. Maybe I can connect to an AI, which would then connect to an MCP server for me. I don't know. All kinds of possibilities. So here's the table. Integration effort, simple. We like that. Real-time communication, yes. Dynamic discovery, yes. And that's an interesting feature right there. Scalability, easy. Security and control, consistent as opposed to varies. This MCP reminds me a lot of Simple Object Access Protocol, or SOAP, which is a bygone thing that was basically destroyed by REST, Representational State Transfer APIs, which is pretty much the standard in the field now. So, MCP enables two-way communication, allowing AI models to retrieve information and dynamically trigger actions. Yeah. And they have a blog post. I hate it when they say, check out this blog, when they mean check out this blog post. A blog is a series of posts, not an individual post. Anyhow. All right, so here's a picture of how it works. And maybe I'll just take a screenshot here. Love how you can do that. Just so easy in Firefox. I'll just download that and maybe we'll make it the title screen for our video here. All right. Okay, now we're getting into the more detailed stuff. The MCP architecture consists of several key components that work together. Hosts. These are applications like Claude Desktop or AI-driven integrated development environments that need access to external data or tools. So here's the host. Okay, so the host is your AI. Clients maintain dedicated one-to-one connections with MCP servers. So these MCP protocol boxes, maybe. MCP servers, that's what we're trying to build, is a lightweight server that exposes specific functionalities via MCP connecting to local or remote data sources. So here's the MCP server, and then there's the data source. Needless to say, that data source can be any number of things. It doesn't have to be a database. Local data sources, stuff on my own computer. Remote services, stuff on someone else's computer. Okay, so, all right. So, how the components work together. Say you're using Cursor, an MCP host, to manage your, so an AI, in other words, to manage your project's budget. Okay. If you want to update a budget report in Google Sheets, and, I guess, send your team the summary of changes via Slack, then, just adding a few words for clarity, Cursor, the AI, asks the MCP client to update the budget in Sheets and send a Slack notification. The MCP client connects to two servers, one for Sheets and one for Slack. The Sheets MCP server interacts with the Google Sheets API. So you see what's happening here, right? So we have an API, and then the MCP server is going to connect with it, I guess. The Slack MCP server interacts with the Slack API. MCP servers send responses back, and the MCP client forwards these responses to the AI. So the way it's represented here, it's kind of like an MCP is an interface between your AI and your API. It's sort of like a cap that you put on your API. Okay. There are two ways, I'm sure there are many ways, but there are two ways to build an MCP server. Using the Python software development kit or the JavaScript software development kit. For the sake of simplicity, I will stick to the Python SDK. All right. So like any other good dev, let's create a separate work environment to isolate things. This is the thing I always hated about Python. Okay, so we'll begin by making a project directory. So let's do that. Now these three dots tell me that this person's working in Apple. That could be a problem. I don't know. We will see. Now activate the environment with All right, let's just do this. Okay. So let's open Visual Studio Code. All right. And let's open a new terminal. Remote Explorer? No, that's not it. Can never remember. That should be, right? It's terminal up here. Okay. New terminal. All right. Oh, we don't even have the stuff on the side. Okay. All right. So let's go to CD E code project. Oops. Tab is typing. There we go. Right, and now I'm going to make a directory MCP. All right, and then we'll go into it. And there's nothing in it, of course. All right. Are you able? You're not even able to read that, are you? Okay, so there it is. We'll just keep it like that for now. All right. Now, Python venv.env. So I don't even know if I have Python installed, but we'll find out. And nothing happens. It's just stupid Python. Oh, okay. There we go. So that tells me two things. One, I have Python installed. And two, I was able to create the virtual environment. I guess this must mean make the virtual environment called .env, I'm guessing. Or, yeah. And now we're going to activate the env. So let's see if this works. Yep. Okay. This is kind of neat. And you see how in the bottom here, I wish I could make this bigger for you. Oh, it's already saying there's a problem. Do not use empty role sets. Well, yeah, whatever. Terminal. Okay. All right. So it indicates here that I'm in this virtual environment. That's pretty cool. I didn't know it did that. All right. And then this PSE. Okay. All right. I don't know what this PS actually stands for. Process PS. I don't know. Whatever. I'll ignore it. Okay. Ensure you see .env in front of the terminal CWD path. Yes, I do. Finally, install two libraries, MCP SDK and MCP CLI. Okay. So pip is the installer. So MCP, so I'm just installing MCP and then I'm installing MCP CLI. Okay, let's do that. Everything's easier when somebody's built a library for you. So we're not really learning how to build an MCP. We're learning how to install an MCP library. A new release of pip is available. I might as well run it just to update it, just to keep my own system up to date. Here, this is the person talking who didn't even know he had Python installed. But okay. All right. Okay. Next, writing the server code. Okay, open the folder in any of your favorite editors of choice. Create a new file called calculator.py and write the following code. py. Okay, so let's do that. We'll create a new file. Write in VS Code. So let's first open the folder. So code projects, MCP. Okay, so and .env is a folder within it. Do I want it there? Don't think so. What's in here? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, where's it saying to put it? Create a new file. file. Okay, he's not saying where to put the new file. So, when I create an environment in Python with .env, Python for Windows, and it says I should create a new .py script, where do I put the script? Question mark. Because he didn't tell me. So I could have just looked it up on Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, but and this is 03 mini high, so whatever. I just picked whatever was on the box. You can place your script anywhere within your project as long as it uses your virtual environment. Put it in the root directory of your project. Alright. So we'll just put it here. Okay. So I'll just put it here. I'll just leave that in there. So new file. And there's the name of it, calculator.py. And let's, this is probably copy. I guess it's copy. Okay, so now we'll put it into the environment. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Basic import. Okay. From MCP server, fast MCP, import fast MCP. MCP equals fast MCP hello world. And then MCP has various tools that I can define. Okay, so I've defined a bunch of tools, and here I can define a resource and then execute this. All right. Now, okay, so let's save that. And I have the feeling that's not going to work because it doesn't know where the stuff in the environment is, but hey, I've been wrong about this stuff before, so. All right, let's come back to the instructions. Let's take, okay, first we imported FastMCP. FastMCP manages connections. Next, we created the server and named it. Okay. Then we added tools. And then we start the server with MCP run. And the setup allows communication via standard STDIO. All right, running. Okay, here we go. Open the terminal and ensure you are in the working environment. Okay, I get it. I see how that works. Okay, so let's open the terminal and make sure I'm in the environment. Okay, so terminal, where's my terminal? Stupid Visual Code has made my top menu disappear. Okay. Alright, I'm not in that terminal anymore. Python virtual environment was successfully activated even though .in may not be okay. There we go. Just wanted to be sure. Okay. It was probably working. This is the universal AI signal. But okay, whatever. Okay, so I'm in the right directory to run this script. I'm in the right environment in which the script will run. I should then type the following command. MCP. That BR can't be right. Can't be right. So I'm just going to do MCP dev server. I mean, that's just some HTML. So let's try that. And nothing happens. File not found. Because it's not server.py, it's calculator.py. So that's an error in this instruction here. So let's go with calculator. So that's actually two errors in the one command. And we have an error, a series of errors in our code. Okay. Unindent does not match any other indent level. Oops. So what I'm going to do is see if I see what you can't do there. All right. Copy that. Let's go to ChatGPT. Okay. What went wrong? Let's see what it says. This is better than what I've had to do in the past, which is try to figure out these error messages for myself. I've always disliked the Python indentation system. I mean, using indents and like carriage returns as syntax just has struck me as wrong. Okay. All right, so let's give it the code and see if it can spot the error. Table to spot the error and recommend a fix. Is this cheating? It's a good question. This is how it works now, though, right? I mean, it's back in the early days of Stephen followed instructions. I'd look at that. I'd figure the same thing ChatGPT told me. It's an indentation error. I'd go back to the code and scratch my head and ask myself, well, where did it go? Where did it go wrong? So while it's doing that, See, because this looks fine to me. It's saying the errors on this very last line here. Maybe it's because I've got a couple of extra lines, but that shouldn't be a problem. But that would be the first thing I tried, right? Let's see if it's found anything. Notice that there is a leading space before the if name statement. Ah. Oh yeah, there it is. So, there was an error in the code. I wonder if that's... Yeah, there it is here too, right? You see the leading space? That's the error. Oh man, doing that, man. I would have found it eventually. But this could have taken me half an hour without the AI to spot that for me. Alright. Let's come back and let's try to run our program again. I've already fixed it and saved it. And see, PyCache started up, or was created. Now it seems to me it should need to install the following packages. Okay, this is fairly common. Just as an aside, when people create a Python program and put it up on an article like this, they're working in their own environment, not a fresh, clean environment like the one I've just created. And you see this a lot with Node code, but also with Python. And I don't have packages installed that they do, so I have to go through this process of installing all of these packages that they already had installed, and they don't mention this or anything like that, and it can really be, something that blocks especially new programmers. This went fairly well. Okay, starting MCP inspector. MCP is up and running on 127.0.0.16274, so it's up and running on this local machine. Proxy server listening on port 6277. So we have this server running. Okay. How are we going to use it? Okay. Running and testing the server locally. Awesome. Okay. So we've run the command. Okay. If you didn't install the CLI in the previous section, you'll be prompted to do so. Okay. So up and running at open it and press connect. Open what? Oh, okay. The MCP inspector is a tool that I use to test my MCP. That's useful. Could have told me that. So if we come back here, right, so the MCP inspector is running here, and the proxy server, which I assume is for my server itself, MCP server itself, is running on 6277. All right, so let's open. All right. Proxy server. Okay, so the numbers here are different, but we'll ignore that. So we'll open, see, this could have been more specific, but we'll open up the MCP inspector. Okay. Oh, control and click. Okay, control click. And that opens it up. All right. connect to an MCP server to start inspecting. Yeah, that makes sense that you would do that. Okay, so let's come back here. Open it and press connect. How's it going to know where to connect? Let's check the configuration. Timeout, 10 seconds. MCP proxy full address. Okay, so if it doesn't work, we'll try that first. So let's try connect. UV is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or batch file. And it looks like it's just going to keep doing that. Okay, a bunch of app variables. Alright, let's do the full address and let's see if that fixes it. Whoa! Oh. Okay, let's... Maybe it did do something finally? No. No. It's still creating errors. Okay, let's just hit Control C, terminate the job. Alright. Come all the way back up here. Oh, let's start it up again. eDev calculator. Alright, so we've restarted it. Now we might get different values. Nope, 6274 is where we were. Right? Yeah. Okay, and listening on port 6277. So let's copy this. And, okay, first of all, let's reload this. Okay, configuration, MCP proxy full address, and what was the full address again? 6277. Okay, let's hit enter for that. Okay, wasn't needed. Now let's try to connect. No, UV is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or batch file. Control C. Yes. Okay. If you cannot connect and it throws an error, restart your PC and rerun the command. Come on. That would interrupt my video, for one thing. Arguments. Alright, arguments run with MCP. With MCP twice. What does it say on here? Yeah, they have it twice as well. Okay, I'll try restarting my PC and running it again. So I'm going to stop here. I'm just going to restart it and see if I can pick up in the middle of the video without, so it just sort of cut out and in if I do this fast enough. That's what I'll try. Otherwise, I'll just jump to a part 2. Alright, so restarting.